Teagarden, you filed the action seeking to have the child determined not to be issue of the defendant in this matter, and not issue of your marriage in this particular case. And would you explain at this point why do you believe that that is the case?
Welcome to The Wall. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. Now let's dive in.
The action seeking to have the child determined not to be issue of the defendant in this matter, and not issue of your marriage in this particular case. And would you explain at this point why do you believe that that is the case?
So Jory and I had been separated for a bit over a year at the time of conception. I was seeing somebody else. We are still together. He is actively involved in the child's life. And between myself, the defendant, and the biological father, whose name is Cody, there has never been any argument against the child's father.
Okay. So the child, I don't have a date of birth on the child that Noah's, what is that?
October 13th of 2022.
Okay.
Looks like Mr. Ease and his wife are heading for a divorce. The key issue: he's taking legal action because the child in question isn't biologically his. However, since they were married when the baby was conceived, the state legally recognizes him as the father. His wife has openly admitted that while they were separated, she was involved with Cody, the child's biological father. But despite this, the law still holds Mr. Fawn financially responsible. In short, even though another man is the biological father, the system is still pushing the husband to pay.
It's fair to say that conception was sometime in approximately January of 2022, correct?
Yeah, give or take January, February.
Okay. And during that time, at the time of conception, had you engaged in any sexual relations with the defendant?
No.
And as you said, it was probably over a year that you'd been separated, although in the petition it says that you'd been separated approximately 2 years. So for the record, what was it? Is it a year or was it 2 years?
I think the 2 years, when I had noted that originally, was at the time of birth. Our separation date is January, I want to say 13th of 2021. I know it's January of 21, though.
Okay. And in this matter, the alleged father is Cody Glenn Lambert. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Lambert, you say he's carried on a relationship with the child. I think
Yes.
you put it in the petition, you say from the time of conception through the current time. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And as Mr. Lambert, likewise, has he taken financial responsibility for the child both during your pregnancy and after birth?
Yes, he has.
And has he carried on a normal child-parent relationship after the child was born?
Yes, he has.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Anything else that you would like to add or?
So the paternity test between Noah and Jory has come back that there's a 0% chance that he is the father. Cody took his portion of the paternity test February 14th of 2022, and we have not received the results yet. But those should be here because it's been about 3 weeks any day now.
Okay.
2023.
2023. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. You said 2022, and I got thinking that's a long wait. So
No.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I agreed. Yep.
Okay. Well, in this particular matter, the court does note that I have received in the file is the DNA Diagnostic Center report dated January 19, 2023, in which the test results show that the defendant has a 0% probability of paternity. Court will note that is signed by John W. Peterson, who PhD and the lab director of DNA Diagnostic Center. I'll ask you, Mr. Teagarden, do you have any opposition to the court accepting that DNA test report into evidence?
No, I don't. That's fine. I believe it's not my child. So
Okay. The court will admit that DNA test report showing 0% probability of paternity. Okay, thank you. Mr. Teagarden, I'm going to have you sworn in. We'll take some brief testimony from you.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Before hearing Mr. Ard's testimony, there's something important to clarify. In this country, legally separating a man from a child that isn't his is a long and complicated process. To make things even tougher, this case reportedly took place in Texas, a state where paternity laws often work against men, even in cases of infidelity. The fact that Mr. Weil had to go to court just to prove he isn't the father highlights how the system leans against men in these situations. Now, the big question is whether he'll be able to free himself from legal responsibility entirely.
Teagarden, you've heard the testimony of Miss Teagarden in this matter, and do you believe that testimony is consistent with your understanding of the facts in the case?
yes, I believe that we've been separated since January, and then there was no way that it could be mine.
Okay. Let me
Pretty much
say,
everything I agree with that she.
prior to your separation in January of 2020, 21 or 2021?
21, yep.
Yeah. Prior to that time, when would you say, or when you identify would be the last time that you engaged in sexual relations with the plaintiff?
It would have to be after we had separated. I'm not 100% sure on the date. I know it was way before October though. And it was a year. It was before her and Cody were actually together.
Okay, so it was after separation though, but before that year.
Yeah, before I believe they got
July
together,
of 2021.
I believe they got together in December of 2021, and it was prior to that. And then they didn't have a baby until 2022 in October.
Okay. Let me ask you, have
So
you...
I think she's right.
Okay. Have you, since the time, well, prior to the date of birth of the child or any time after, have you, in fact, carried on any sort of a parent-child relationship with Noah?
No, I have not.
Have you taken any financial responsibility for Noah prior to or after his date of birth?
No, I have not.
Ms. Teagarden, do you have any questions for the defendant?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Hello?
No?
Yep, I have no question.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Mr. Teagarden, that you would like to add in this matter?
Nope. No, I do not.
Okay. Ms. Teagarden, you have any closing statements to make in this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Teagarden, anything you have?
Nope. No, I didn't. Nope. Okay.
Okay. Well, what to do, the court will make the following finding in this matter. You've heard testimony from plaintiff. Plaintiff has stated that, in fact, the parties have been separated for over a year prior to the conception of the child, which would have occurred sometime in approximately maybe January of 2021. that in fact, she's testified that the alleged father, Cody Glenn Lambert, in fact, has taken responsibility for on behalf of Noah Brian Lambert, that in fact he's carried on a parent-child relationship with the child, that there's no doubt in her mind that he is in fact the biological father of Noah, and that the defendant has not had any sort of a relationship with the minor child in this particular case. Court will note that the defendant has confirmed that the parties had engaged in sexual relations after their separation, but that it was substantially before the date of conception would be. And the court also notes that the court has admitted into evidence the DNA Diagnostic Center report of January 19, 2023, which shows a 0% probability of paternity for the defendant in this particular case, which has been omitted. The court will therefore determine that Noah Brian Lambert is a child born out of wedlock in that issue of this marriage and of the defendant in this case. And as a result, the court will, I'm looking at the order in this particular matter. I will terminate the support obligation effective the date of birth as well.
Was finally served, brothers. In a surprising turn, the mother chose to cooperate, and Cody, the biological father, stepped up to take responsibility for the child. Without their cooperation, Mr. Ice would have been stuck paying child support, possibly even back payments for a child that wasn't his. If things had gone differently, this case would have ended like so many others, with a man being forced to raise and financially support a child just because the law says so. This situation once again highlights how the system offers little to no protection for men in these cases.
Okay, I've finished up that order. It will be down to the clerk today. If you should want that, get a copy of that, Ms. Teagard, so you can proceed. And that will conclude the case unless there's anything else that you have, Ms. Teagard.
No, sir.
Mr. Teagard?
No, sir. I'm good.
Okay. Thank you both. The court will conclude this matter at 2:06 p.m. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you.
To mention,
You
in
too.
this case, now that this has taken place, we've already preserved proofs for this divorce, so the final orders can be sent to you and basically close the.
Okay. Ms. Teagard, as in the divorce action, as staff has stated, we've already taken proofs. Did you put a provision in the judgment in which what the court's done here is excluding Mr. Teagard as the father?
When I originally filed, I was not pregnant, or not aware that I was pregnant, at least. I did modify that later on when I requested full custody that I was pregnant. But at the time I wasn't aware that we had to do the separate hearing.
Well, that's fine, but I wanted the provision in the judgment that would in fact determine that no, it is not issue of this marriage, a child born out of wedlock. So I'll ask, even though we're putting in here that we've revoked the paternity, I would like that provision in the judgment just so we have it, and there's no issue in the regard to that case as well.
Okay. I do know that I have Grayson listed. I don't believe Noah is listed on the paperwork at this time, as he was not born at the time.
I understand that, but I still want that provision in the judgment so that it's not an issue at a later date.
Right. Do I need to revise and resubmit a judgment?
You'll have to do that.
Does she also need to
okay.
Again?
I
won't. We've had an FOC approval. I won't make you get that again because it's not going to be, it's not going to really be something that they need to address at this point in view of this proceeding as well.
Okay.
Just resubmit it to the court and we'll get it entered for you and get that completed.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you. You have a good
Thank
day.
you.
All right.
You too.
Hey, bro. What?
The case was all about legally removing Mr. San as the child's father, but the mother was careful to ensure it wouldn't interfere with her divorce. In other words, she had a child with another man before officially ending her marriage, yet society still paints men as the villains. I can only imagine Mr. Ihi's reaction when he found out the truth. But as they say, a win is a win. At least. This time the state didn't force him to pay. Unfortunately, not every man is this lucky. Many end up financially responsible for a child that isn't theirs, all because of a flawed system. Now, let's hear from you. What's your take on this case? Do you know anyone who's been forced to support another man's child? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe,